Hello, welcome to Privars Fiskeflur. This is a fly everybody can tie. Welcome to the foxtail streamer. See how I tie this fly. Well, I'm gonna tell you a little about the materials I've been using in this fly. First of all, I use this off-brand hook. The hook looks like this. It's a Chinese vendor. I'm very satisfied with it, but you can use whatever big gap hook you have. If it's Ahrex or Partridge or whatever, that's not so important. That the most important thing is that you can rely on those hooks, and it has a large hook cap. That's always an advantage. The thread I've been using is a off-brand 8.0 white thread, pretty strong. I have very satisfied with that thread, and I'm gonna use some in this fly. I also use some tan flashy dubbing from Fly Ties Dungeon. You can also vary what color you might want to use in this fly. So on the flash, I mean, that have to. I use the tan because it mixes very well together with the tan color on this fly. I also use some. Where did I put my eyes? Yeah, I use my flat 3D eyes in gold and black on this. And the markings on the fly is made of the dark brown Pro Marker instant marker pen, and I have been using to comb out the underfur. I've been using this lice comb, funny looking stuff. And I have been using scissors, of course, and dubbing needle, and some hackle ply, some whip finish tool. Dynaking indexer vise I've been using for this tutorial, and glues I've been using in this fly is this one, Liquid Fusion, to bind all these fibers together. And I've been using Gorilla Glue to cover the eyes. Alright, that's all I had for the introduction and the description, so follow on and see how I tie this fly. Well, let's start tying this fly. This is the fly when it's finished. I'm gonna guide you through the way how I tie it, so follow on. Okay, take this finished fly out and put the hook in the vise. Hook is an off-brand hook I use with a. I'm very satisfied with it. It's in size 2, I think, and I got my thread. It's an ordinary white thread in 8.0, and wind the thread back to the hook band. Just about that. And then I take the main ingredients in this fly. It's the foxtail. This is a European red fox. As you see, it has a lot of color shatterings, white tip and reddish color. It's a very nice material. You have all this dark guard hairs, and the color goes from red, white and gray. So what I want this reddish color, so I just take my scissor and snip off a bunch. I want it for my tail. I'm gonna tell you afterwards where I got my tail. And I don't want all this underfur, so I just use my lease comb and just tie off all this underfur. You can also use this as a dubbing. Alright, so now just comb out all the short hairs you don't want, because you want to start with a fairly thin tail. And I just get rid of the longest guard hairs then. And also I want to taper it a little bit. And you can adjust how long you want it. I just want it just about that, so I take my scissor and snip it off and tie it in on the top and make it go a little around the hook like that. Wind it securely down to the hook, and I use a little nice glue for this. It's like it's called Liquid Fusion. This is a fairly big bottle, so I have to be a little careful about the amount I put on. It's very nice. It don't cure instantly, so you have a little time to make it seep in. Now the big part of this fly is to mix this red foxtail with some tan flashy dubbing. I like this. I take out a little bunch because this tan dubbing just binds this fiber together. Put it on top like that and wind it back, comb it in. Afterwards you can just remember, this is natural fur. You cannot cut this as you do with the Congo hair or EP fibers and such. That the hair will lose its ability to taper. Alright, now you take your thread and wind a little forwards like that. You don't want it too narrow, because too close to the other bunch, because the flies is getting very thick. So I take my big tail again and snip off another bunch. I got fly tying material for the rest of my life, I think. I do the same. Just comb it out. And now I take out most of the long fibers, the guard hairs. See all the black tip one? I take out as much as I can of this. Now I just measure out how long I want it. I want it to taper a little bit, so I just maybe about that, I think, to make a good taper. I snip the rest off, and now I tie it in reverse style. Go around the bunch and distribute the fibers around the hook. Use your vise to make this happen. And you take your glue again and you can take a tool or whatever you have just to make this. I had some lying around. Yes, there is. I have this packer. I use this as a tool. Just let it go around the bunch. You see now I got this nice taper already. And go forwards and take another bunch of tan flashy dubbing. This is from Fly Ty's Dungeon. And another bunch goes around and pack it around the materials to bind it down. So you have all this flash keeps the tail in place, you know. Okay, well, I have to adjust the camera a little bit because it was very much zoomed in. All right, go a little bit forwards, then do the procedure again. Another bunch of red tail fox fever. I'm very fond of this material. I'm gonna show you all the nice dubbing you can make of this. Do the same as I did last time. I try to get rid of most of the guard hairs, and I do this reverse style like this, measure out and snip it off, tie it in reverse style. Some of you might notice that I'm using white thread. That's because that was the one that was on my spool, and I can also color it with my instant marker. Some more glue. You can use super glue for this, but I like Liquid Fusion because it's allergy free. I think it's allergy free. I'm not reacting on it, and I use my push tool, make it go around it like this, and some more flash onto this, goes around and distribute it, pack it in. And now the last bunch is going on. Try to measure out the right amount. Take a bit practice this, but once you get a hang of it, it's gonna be nice. Well, the same procedure. Comb out all the underfur with your comb. You don't have to use the same comb as I do, but ordinary comb does the trick. Just take out all this shortened fibers and measure out how long I want it. Snip it off, and you take your push it over the hook eye like this. And use your last bit of glue. Like that, and try to distribute the fibers over and under the hook like that, and some wrappings around. Then you soon be ready. Use some wrappings with the thread and take the last bunch of flash, pack it in, and distribute this. You will have a nice shiny fly that moves perfectly in the water. And you use your whip finish to make a nice finish knot on this, and you can use your permanent marker to just color the head on this to make it a darker, like that, and snip off the tying thread like that. And now I want to glue this thread wrapping so it don't go up. I have a little tip for you. This is some articulation wire. I have this bottle. It always seems to clog up in this nozzle, so this fits perfectly into the nozzle, and just use this to clean up this tube. Now the tube is free and I can perfectly place my lacquer onto the thread wrappings without any hesitation, like that. And put the needle back on into the tube so it stays there. Just have to remove some unwanted fibers. Okay, now you can leave it as this and put your eyes on it, but like the fly attire I want to place some markings on this body and some spots on the side, on each side, and I turn it around, pull on the fibers a little bit. You see now I have these nice spots on the fly. Now I want to place the eyes. And the eyes I'm going to use for this is some 5mm flat eyes. You can use 3D eyes, but I think it builds too much. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my liquid fusion and place a dab onto the side of the fly where I want the eyes to be, and like that, and just the same on the other side. And then you take your bodkin and use your point and just peel off one eye, place it on the top of the dab, glue, and push down on it. And don't bother with the lacquer. The glue seem to be too much because it's gonna seep into the fly and becomes invisible. And you're gonna leave it like that for some minutes, and because when it's dried up a little bit, this fly, you're gonna be able to push the ice some more into the body, and then you can place some lacquer onto the fly to cover the ice. I'm gonna leave this fly on the side for now and show you the finished one that I've given a little treatment with water, and you see how it looks. I've been able to push the ice into the fly. You see it's a bit pushed in on both sides, and to cover all the ice I'm gonna do that to this already finished fly to show you, because the other fly is not completely dried. I take some Gorilla Glue onto my bodkin like this and place it onto the eye like that. Make it go around the eye and on the edges to make the eyes stick even more to the fly body. But if you don't want to use this, the liquid fusion is so strong it will keep the eyes on the flies, but this way is gonna be some 3D effect of this ice. Okay, I take the other one as well when I'm first at it. Try not to get too much glue on this bodkin and make it go around on the edges like that. And when you first add it, you can also use and place some more glue onto the thread wrappings. I already put some kind of lacquer on that, but then you can use the rest of your glue onto that. Now you're gonna put this onto the drying wheel, and it will stay there for some hours. Then it's dried. This glue, Gorilla Glue Clear, dries very solid, and it has also a bit flexible curing. It becomes a little flexible, so it's very, very nice, very, very strong. I highly recommend this glue, and I also highly recommend this glue. I'm not sponsored or anything. This is my own personal experience, and I want to share that with you folks. You have a lot of glue in this bottle and a lot of glue in that, so this cures a little bit faster, but this is stronger. All right, well, what you gonna do with all the remains? You see all this underfur I got. You see all it? You can mix it with this and make it perfectly double. I'm gonna show you. Just I have these two dog brushes. All right, this is the most easy way to mix this. I put, oh, there's a lot of old things on my brush, but try to remove it like that. So put the ones on this side and take your flash on the other one, put that on that side, and comb it together. Mix it together. You're gonna see the most fantastic flashy dubbing you have, made of natural materials and some flash. See, it's already mixed up, and you can use your scissor or your dubbing or dubbing needle or whatever you might want to use. You can also mix it with your fingers. That's the easiest way, I think. So I was a bit unlucky with this first. You see what I mean? We mix this. You have a dubbing for a lot of flies, nymphs and whatever. Well, that was a nice little introduction, a tutorial to make the foxtail streamer. Now I'm gonna tell you how to get this foxtail. I'm gonna tell you what I done. In my country there's a lot of hunters. I just trade this for some flies, or you can buy it. Maybe some taxidermist has a lot of those lying around, or the people that makes fur coats and so on. But the best opportunity is to contact the hunter. And you see this tail is about well, let's see, this ruler is about 30 centimeters, is about 40 centimeters long and thick as an arm. So we got a lot of materials here, a lot of flies, and also gonna make a little shrimp out of this tail, but that's gonna be in another video. So that was all I had for now, and I already tested this fly into the sea. It swims perfectly, and I was not lucky to get some sea trout on it, but I'm quite sure that this fly is gonna do the trick for me. So thank you all for watching my video, and I welcome you back to my next. I've already posted a lot of videos on my channel, so follow on and see what's coming next. Okay, bye bye.